Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to Travel Bistro. I'm Pam Barker. Thank you for coming back. Even if you're not a traveler, thank you for coming back. I have a guest today. I have the travel editor of Aqua Magazine and travel writer that I know very well. Hey, it's Gerry Barker.
Well, hello, Pam, and it's a it's a pleasure to be on your
And
podcast.
I thank you so very much. He also produces his podcast for me on 20 platforms, so including North Palm Beach Live. So, Gerry, you know what? I invited you here today because I felt like I couldn't do justice to our recent American cruise line Constellation cruise to Alaska alone because it was extraordinary.
Well, it was in every sense of the word. It's something that we really can't stop talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the experience of seeing Alaska on a small ship,
Yeah,
going to these places that the other ships can't go. Um, it was just extraordinary.
it was. Every single thing about it was not our first time to Alaska. This was our second time.
No, we went last summer on a larger ship,
Right.
and the experience it surprised me how different it was.
Me too.
Because, obviously, I mean, Alaska is a spectacular place,
Yes.
and seeing it for the first time last year, definitely was incredible.
It was impactful.
It was impactful,
Mm-hmm.
but going back, uh, and seeing different parts of Alaska,
Mm-hmm.
but it just it, it was so different in terms of what you really uh, experience.
Yeah. What you feel about it. To get to Alaska is not easy because we live in, and when I say South Florida, we are south. We are on the east coast of the peninsula, south. We're in the Palm Beach area. And so to get there, it takes all day. And there's a 4 hour time difference. We had to get up very early in the morning to catch a flight from PBI here in Palm Beach. Luckily, we didn't have to go to Miami or Fort Lauderdale, then to Atlanta, then to Seattle, then to Juneau. But to me, one of the true delights, very meaningful, is that American Cruise Line makes it as easy as possible from that point on.
Oh, they do, and I think there are so many good things to say about the way that American Cruise Lines uh, uh, handles their tours and cruises. But when we got to Juneau, we're obviously very tired,
Yeah,
a very, very long day. And here's a guy smiling, holding a sign that says ACL.
yeah,
And
at the airport.
at the airport,
Yeah,
at the Juneau airport, and you just thought, oh, thank heavens,
yeah, yeah.
a friendly face.
A relief. You don't, and from that point on, you don't even mess with your bags.
No, no, you get on a shuttle. We had a pre-cruise stay at a downtown, a very nice hotel in Juneau. So they transported us and our bags.
Mm-hmm.
We checked in. They had a wonderful breakfast the next morning.
Right.
We got our cruise credentials. It's just a seamless process.
And interestingly, it just getting there, even though we'd had very little sleep and very different time zone, we were invigorated and we felt so good and so happy. We went out into Juneau that evening and enjoyed being in Juneau, but I want to back up just a bit. I want to give just a brief little bit of history about how American Cruise Lines is different in how they are in the U.S.
Well, they've been in business for 50 years, and uh, they they really take pride in being, the only really U.S. flagged cruise line that operates in the rivers and in the waterways around the United States. And they've grown over those 50 years. Now it's over 20 ships and many more coming planned. They have their own shipyard uh, where they build their ships, but they're staffed by Americans. They're obviously American flagships, and take great pride in being the premier way to see our own country.
Yeah, and we have done several. This was not our first American Cruise Line trip. What many people find attractive about it, well, there's many things, but unless you are going into Canada on a couple of their cruises, you don't need a passport. Some people don't even have to fly. If they don't want to fly, they can drive. They can drive to the point of entry for the cruise.
Absolutely, and like you said, it's a seamless experience.
Yeah.
They take care of everything to get you on the ship, and then get you off the ship and back to the airport or wherever your transportation takes you.
Yeah.
So they take care of pretty much anything you need during that time you're cruising.
I personally cannot say enough about. I won't gush about it too much because we have a lot to talk about. But from the moment when you are put on a bus, they have buses usually that follow the routes, and they usually will take you on a little city tour before before you set foot, before you embark. But it's so seamless getting onto their ships. It's like you get off the bus, you walk over, they greet you, hello, they have a little canopy set up, and you're on board. And it's so seamless on every single one of the cruises.
Well, and what's really great is you get on the ship. And you immediately go to your stateroom, and there's your luggage.
The luggage is there.
The luggage has already been delivered.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait all day for luggage to arrive.
And the crew from the beginning, from the very, like you said, at the airport, that particular person is not a member of the crew. They're a driver of, transport you there in Alaska. But they make you feel happy to be there, even if you're still tired. But let's talk a little bit. We can circle back to talk more about American Cruise Line. But let's talk a little bit about the places that we saw, and there's a lot. So I'm going to let you take the lead on kind of honing in on the highlights a bit.
Well, one of the early highlights to me was when we got on the ship, and there was Captain Brian.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Captain Brian smiling and greeting us, and I'm sure he didn't immediately recall who we were, but we were on the Grand Puget Sound cruise a few years ago, and Captain Brian was our captain.
Yep.
And he does an amazing job of really navigating the ship as close as possible to glaciers and different things you're going to see, waterfalls. And so we were really happy to see Captain Brian.
And he communicates along the way. It's like he gives a heads up. Whales, on which side, approaching, and what kind of whales, or whatever it may be, he will come in and give you a heads up, and then he will rotate if he can, if there's space, the boat, so you don't have to run all around. He will do his best to get a great view for as many as possible.
Yeah, so, very happy to see Captain Brian. And really, I mean, the whole crew is friendly.
Yeah.
You need anything, they'll take care of it. Just like the woman that lost the hairbrush.
The brush, that went into the water as she was boarding. Yeah.
Boarding the ship, and her hairbrush fell in the water. And, they went out of their way to every stop to try to find a place to replace her hairbrush.
It was a styling brush, so it was an electric situation, a very specific kind of brush. And they couldn't find it, but they did try very hard to do that. So.
Yeah. It's not one of those items you're going to find in Alaska,
No, not really.
in the small towns.
No.
But that's really when we one of the beauties of the trip is you do visit these smaller places. We left Juneau, and then we cruised for a day, and then we were in Haines, which is a little small town where we went and did kayaking on this beautiful glacier lake.
Yeah.
And the excursions they offer multiple kind of excursions. Some are complimentary. There's at least one complimentary in every port. Then they have signature. And premium, various levels of excursions that you can purchase. But there are all kinds of experiences, whether you like hiking, or you just want to sightsee, or you want to be on a bus, or you want to do physical activity. There's pretty much something for everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it was a 12-day cruise. They call it the Alaska Explorer cruise. And we did the Inside Passage several times. But of course, you're going to see lots of glaciers and just unbelievable snow-capped mountain scenery almost everywhere you go, in the waterfalls and coming down the granite walls. In I believe Petersburg, we were able to take a seaplane flight over the glaciers, which was fabulous, and seeing the bears of Anan, the wild bears at the observatory in the Tongass National Forest.
Yeah, that was just unforgettable.
Unforgettable.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're anywhere near Wrangell, Alaska, that's a must see.
Yeah.
And of course, in Wrangell also, and that was toward more the end of the cruise, is where you found some jewelry.
I did, and the story behind that whole situation is interesting to me because it's garnet, and the thing about it, you have to be 16 years of age and younger in order to mine the stones out of the garnets out of the stones, and. But then once they do that, then the whole family joins in to do whatever it is they choose to do, whether it's sell them in the stone or in the granite or make jewelry. And so, yes, I did. I bought way too much. I spent way too much, but it was from a family. It was literally, as you know, I try to buy jewelry from, we try to leave a little bit of support everywhere we go when we travel. And for me, it's always locally made something, and a lot of times that happens to be jewelry. And this family set up their canopy, and they had a card, they had cards and stuff telling about, it was a little girl with this family, was named Ricky, and those were her creations with her family. And I had no idea, and all of it's absolutely beautiful and handmade by the family.
Yeah, and of course that's something that we totally didn't get missed on our other cruise in Alaska. Had no idea.
Yeah.
And another stop at Petersburg, where it's called Little Norway, and it's got a very deep Norwegian heritage. We had a delightful group of young children come on board and perform Norwegian folk dances.
In costume. And then we got a chance to talk to some of the children and ask them questions after, and they were so happy to be there, and very talented kids, by the way.
Very talented. In fact, at several stops, we had musicians come aboard, local musicians.
Yeah.
Many times they were part of families and entertain us.
Yeah.
And very talented.
Yes. And it really does make you feel more a part of the community by getting to know the people, even in those brief settings. And I have to tell you, I'm a chocolate lover, and Sitka, by the way, if you've ever seen The Proposal, and you'll know what I'm talking about Sitka, they didn't film any of that in the real Sitka. But still, I like Sitka very much. They have a place where you can buy salt that is very, very impressive. But I bought the best chocolate fudge I've ever had in my life, and that's the truth. And I'm very disappointed to learn when we got home. I wanted to order and have it shipped, and they don't.
So you'll just have to go back to Alaska, go back to Sitka, and buy more fudge.
It's a place called the Totem. If you're in Sitka, go there, buy their fudge, because it's melt in your mouth delicious.
Pam will send you her address.
I'll even send you the money to buy it for me. But those are the kinds of joyous things, and the little museums that they have that are in these small towns, but the museums are very, very impressive.
And I think that's a good point, because they do immerse you in the culture.
They do.
It's not just seeing the mountains and the waterfalls and the glaciers. It's really understanding the people
That's right.
that live in these places.
The history
Yeah.
of Alaska, they're very proud of it, and they keep it alive, and they make sure to inform you as much as they can if you are interested in that.
And you know, of course, apart from all the wonderful Alaska experiences on the ship itself, the food was fabulous. The executive chef from Barbados did a couple of culinary demonstrations and treated us to some wonderful food. The pastry chef was really good too.
Absolutely delicious, and they have a happy hour every night before dinner, and they have hors d'oeuvres and music, and everyone gets to relax a little bit after the day of whatever you choose to do, and before going into dinner. What happens very quickly, or does for us, I can only speak for us, the servers get to know you because the whole crew does, but if you tend to sit at the same table and have the same server, we had to move around a bit on this particular cruise, but they will get to know you, and I wanna highly praise the sommelier master, sommelier Stephanie, who no matter where we were, she found us, and they remember your likes, they remember that you love iced tea. They remember the kind of wine that I like, which is Sauvignon Blanc. They remember these things very, very quickly, even if you have to move and maybe not be at the same table every night. But Stephanie went way above and beyond even the top-notch service that you get on at dinner with American Cruise Line. But she made sure to bring us wine she thought we would like every night to sample, and maybe we would like this or that, and she made suggestions and every single night. And not only that, but she wore a couple hats because she was also kind of manager of
restaurant manager.
Yeah, so she was here and there and everywhere, but you didn't feel that. She made us, as they say, feel important, because she was at our table to say, I think I have a wine tonight you're going to really like. If we didn't like it, that was okay too, but again, as you said at the beginning, we can't stop talking about this trip. American Cruise Line, perhaps, if you are interested in roller coasters on a cruise ship or things like that, probably not something for you. But if you like an absolute top-notch way to see places, not just Alaska, but the other places that we've been on American Cruise Line, you can sit and read. You can relax. You can exhale from a world gone mad. For me personally, there's a lounge where all day long, if you want to have a hot drink, not just coffee, but specialty hot drinks as well, lattes, cappuccinos, hot chocolate, hot teas, they have it there for you to at 24/7 and 24 however long you're on the ship. It's there. You just go in and wine. They have wine chilled. They have cookies every day, a couple of times a day, freshly baked cookies in there, but all the time they have chips and like Oreos in a package. They have packaged snacks.
Well, I think it's like you said. It's much like being in a boutique hotel on the sea.
It is.
Or on the water.
Yeah.
And it really is geared to people who want to, understand what they're seeing, to relax. There's no casino. There's
Right.
not a swimming pool. This is all about, the experience of the cruise.
Yeah.
And they are, in this particular cruise, they do have an expert on board who lectures and every day talks about a different aspect of Alaskan life. And we had a park ranger from Glacier Bay National Park also join us for a couple of days when we were in that part of the world, and pointed out wildlife and things to see.
Right.
And roam freely, answering questions. And so it really is, I think, they've worked hard to make it a total experience.
Yeah. For me, it's just a way you can really exhale. You can sit on the top deck, weather permitting. They put on little extra things. They did a whole hot chocolate amazing presentation where they had, I can't even begin to tell you how many flavors of whipped cream to put in your, and as well as, adult beverage additions if you wanted to put that into your hot chocolate. Just special little things like that all along the way, just to say, here, have some hot chocolate, sit down, exhale. It's a real exhale, I think, in a crazy world, and that's very much appreciated.
Well, and then probably also note that the cruise is all inclusive. It includes your gratuities, of course, your food, your stateroom, your Wi-Fi. Pretty much everything is in there.
Yeah. And very important for a longer cruise, this was a little bit longer, 12 days, they have free, it's complimentary, washer, dryer, where you can freshen your clothes. And they even provide the pods, the detergent pods, and the dryer sheets. And what's funny about that is how the other passengers kind of watch out for each other because there's only 2 of each. They're stacked, and they kind of watch out for each other. If somebody comes in and kind of wants to move, it was really kind of a fun bonding thing with other passengers doing the laundry, because at a certain point you want to do that.
So I guess in summary, if you really want to experience what Alaska has to offer, you should really give a lot of thought to American Cruise Line.
Yeah, it's a small ship cruising. We had about 150. They could hold more, about 175. And let me wrap it up in my own way by saying it's never fun when you're having a great time to have to get off and return home. Because you just want to keep going. It's so much fun. But when you do, when they make it easy for you, and they do, you put your bags out. They're nearby. The next morning, depending on your location, it will either be one of their buses, or for us it was a van, and they take you to the airport. And when you get there, your bags are there, and they're color coded by when you disembark, and there they are. And so right till the very end, they've done everything they can do. It's up to you to grab your bags and make it home. But they do everything humanly possible for a cruise line to do to make it an extraordinary, I will say again, experience.
So thank you, Pam, for having me.
Thanks. As I said, I could not have done it alone because it's just so much, and we just scratched the surface. So if you want to know more, there is more.
There is a lot more.
Let's tell them where they can find more.
Well, several places. You can go to our website, North Palm Beach Life, and you'll find a story all about our cruise. It also written about it in splash magazines worldwide and on All Things Cruise. So those are all places you can find it, and I'm sure there'll be more.
Did you mention our YouTube?
Oh, and the YouTube channel, that's right, North Palm Beach Life YouTube channel. Probably, I would say at this point, there's 15 or 20 videos.
That's the thing about Gerry, Gerry, by the way. So if you're looking him up, it's Gerry Barker, but it's pronounced Gerry. Don't ask us why, because we can't answer that question. But he makes it easy for you if you don't even want to necessarily scan a whole big story. But I encourage you to do that. But the videos and the photos, the slideshows, make it easy. You can go along with us very easily that way. So thanks, Gerry. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for the invite.
You're very welcome. Don't forget my other podcast, Gigi and the 561. I've been away from it because I've been traveling. My books are on Amazon. Don't forget that. Pamela Barker. I have novels, a children's book. Find me there. Easy reads. This podcast will always rest on northpalmbeachlife.com, Travel Bistro, and 20 other platforms, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora and iTunes. If I said that twice, Amazon. But anyway, they're out there, so subscribe. You don't want to miss this great stuff. Thanks again, Gerry. Looking forward to our next travel adventure. Come back and happy trails.